Good morning. I've just come out to get some lemon balm for my green tea, but I thought we would go and have a little wander to the vegetable garden and just see how everything is doing here. Oh, beans. The purple climbing beans here. The leeks. I definitely need some more leeks. My little garlic is still doing okay. Can you see him there? Ooh, and all of this is looking really good. I can tell that does not like being covered. I might have to try and push that back a little bit more. Can you see how it's leaning out? It doesn't like the salvia over the top. Kale's looking okay. I worried that it might have gotten munched on, but it looks alright. Even the capsicum just here is doing okay. Oh, the eggplant has new leaves on it too. Well, very happy. Look, he's got a new growth. Can you see that? Oh, that's so exciting. Oh, it is super early in the morning. Alright, I'm going to grab some lemon balm. Make myself a cup of tea and some breakfast. Oh, I'll take you down to the orchard later on. How good is the lemon balm looking? Oh, it looks so lush. So I'm just going to pick a few of these leaves. One more. Alright. I'm gonna pop in tea, breakfast, and then get ready for the day. Rightio, so dressed and out and about, just come to the landscaping supply store. I was just showing Mum, I've got Mum here with me. I am wanting to finish off the front sort of patio project. And I actually think that these big sort of slate pavers are really nice for placing on the concrete flooring. And you'd have like the paver, and but see how they've even got it stacked? You could almost do something like that, like in certain corners, like stack, like put this one back a bit, stack them, and then have like your pots. You know, like a pot there and then a pot there. You know, like to create like a little bit around it. And we're just looking at these ones. They're smaller size to these. I don't know, I just think to add some interest on that front.
Get one of those.
Yeah.
And one of those.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you don't want them up too high.
No.
Because it would look silly.
I'm just thinking to add some interest, that's all. I think that that will look quite nice, that little bit of difference. I mean, they've got like more of the sandstony ones, over here. So whether they're quite a sandstone. I mean, I like these ones, but they're quite small. You'd need something like, you know, bigger than that. Yeah, they're too sandstony for what I'm thinking. They're nice, but just the tone's not right. And I mean, I've got heaps of these in my garden at the moment. And I mean, they're like a smaller size. Like if I had like the big slate one that we were saying, like that's like potentially a smaller size. I don't know, it was just a thought I had to add some like interest to that front patio. A combination of that, like the big ones, and then like this is like a smaller one or something, or even like that colorway potentially. But anyway, it's just something I was thinking of to add like a little bit of interest to that space.
You could have the bigger one, that medium one, and have that.
And then I just didn't know whether you'd, like I would want, not just once, would once look a bit funny. Like I almost feel like, would you want...
Because that would be the...
like the focal point.
Yeah, the feature point would be that, with the plants around it, because there'll be another pot will go in there with you know, one of those things. I think you don't want it too...
I mean, you could always just do one and then see how it went.
Because it's not a big brand.
All right. We've left kind of like the pavers and we've just come to have a look at the rocks, and we're just going to pick up a few rocks today. But I even think like something like these would be quite nice in that front patio area, like out amongst the pots, just to add like a little bit of a feature. But maybe that is for another day, once I had a better sort of look at what I'm working with. So I'm just gonna help Mum grab a few little rocks here. So we've got a little selection of sandstone rocks there. I'm actually wondering if like one of these ones and possibly this one might be nice for the front patio. But we'll see. We'll have a little bit of a play around. Okay, I'm just gonna have a little wander around through here. I'm looking for, I'd also like a statue for the front patio. I think that would be quite nice. And if you've been watching along the last few videos, you'll know I've been going to many garden centres looking for statues, but nothing has really taken my fancy as yet. Yeah, I'd want something a little bit bigger than that. Just saying, these are really lovely pots. Like tulips. I mean, the giraffe's cute. Yeah. Yeah, little owl. You know when you just don't know what you're looking for, but I feel like I'll know it when I see it? The owl. I'm eyeing, see this garden arch? I'm a bit nervous about the wisteria, and I feel like I need a bit more of a structurally sound garden arch. And I think that might be a good option, but that's a save up for it situation. Yeah, the little angels.
Oh, that's quite nice.
That's a nice pot.
Yeah. That's big.
I know, but it's nice.
Like that.
Just come in here and have a little look. They're pretty though. Like the actual, like the colours are really nice. No statues kind of take my fancy. I don't want to force it. If I can't find something, I'll just keep looking. No. Rightio. Maybe just the rocks then for today, but that's really good information about those slate pavers for that front patio project. We're definitely going to be circling around to that and finishing that off. I need to get umbrellas. There's a few extra pots we picked up a few weeks ago that I need to plant up for out there. So close to having it finished, so I'm really keen to try and focus on that in the coming weeks. I just really wanted to add some interest to that area and just, yeah, make it feel a little bit special. I do also think I want to change the outdoor furniture. I think having some really nice hardwood furniture out there would tie in. I'm wanting to put up a sort of lattice screen, and I think that would kind of tie all of that together, and I think the wood would be a little bit more sympathetic. So we are definitely going to be diving into the patio project. We've just come to the garden centre on the way back to have a little poke around, see what they've got, and to pick up some garden soil. So I'm just going to grab some more leeks as well as some spring onions. Gosh, they've got so much gorgeous colour out. Alright, we're probably done out here. Just going to pop in and get a little bit more garden soil and then head home. The little chickens are back. Oh, they're so cute.
This. Just working on music. Because I'm on my feathering.
Well, I've got a little box of happiness here. I picked up some extra strawberries, spring onions and leeks, as well as a few little filler plants. Rightio, home we have a spectacular day today. Let me tell you, goodness me. It is definitely autumn. Got down 10 degrees last night, and then today it's around, I think around 22 degrees, top of 22, which is just perfection. I must say, after that visit to the landscape supply store, I'm feeling very inspired for that front patio, so I might have to maybe move my focus there. But what we are going to be doing today is heading down into the orchard and tackling the cut flowers. I really just want to get them in. One of the really gorgeous, I think the dahlia, it had one big flower on it, but now it's got a second flower about to bloom and it just looks stunning. So very keen to get them in and get them settled. But yeah, we'll head down into the orchard area here. I'll give you a little look as well. It's had a bit of a spruce up. So just to give you a little update in the orchard, all the fruit trees are doing really well. I've planted in a few of these cupia here. That lavender unfortunately didn't make it after the pumpkin fiasco. So hopefully these will space out and kind of fill that section in there. Everything else is looking really nice. I'll go up onto the sun deck and kind of give you a bit of a bird's eye view. It'll be easier than where I'm standing now. But today we're going to be working in the cut flower garden. The peach tree is starting, I don't know if you can see under there, it's starting to drop all of its leaves for winter. But the berries are all looking really good. I'm just getting to the shade here. The Atherton raspberries it's put on so much growth. Both the blueberries are doing well. Interestingly, this one here, I think it's the sunshine blue, it's flowering again. I don't know if you can see, if I just watch. Can you see the little tiny flowers? Which is odd at this time of year, but I mean, If I get more blueberries, I'm not mad about it. But yeah, everything's doing really well. There's a little bit of yellowing leaf there, and I googled it and it sort of said that it could be a nutrient deficiency. I have added chicken manure to it very recently, so hopefully that will sort of sort the few little yellow leaves that we've got there. But otherwise, it's looking really good. And then today, what I'm wanting to plan up is this spectacular dahlia. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And you've got the new little bud here opening up. Let me just get the label. There you go, Dahlia labella. So hopefully that will do really well. So I want to get that in. I've got the seedlings that we purchased together a couple of weeks ago now. So Gypsophilia, the Carnation, Cosmos and Larkspur, to try those. And then the other little thing that I've got to plant is the Cornflower Blue Boy. So we'll get all of those in and situated today, put them to bed and hope that they are happier there. So the actual little cut flower plants are in. So you can see these ones here are the cornflower. The sun is behind me, so apologies for the shadowing. And then we've got the dahlia there on the end, looking gorgeous. And so the next thing I'm going to, so what I've tried to do is this little space here that you can kind of see that's fenced in, that is my cut flower space. So I try and contain it in this sort of smaller space, and what I would normally do is check the dimensions on all of the cut flowers. So the ones that have just gone in all get about 60 centimeters high, and then with the seedlings that I've got here, I also just kind of check on the back of the seed packets. It'll just generally tell you their height that they'll get. So I try and do the biggest ones at the back. So in this case, it's going to be the Cosmos and the Larkspur. So I might try and do a little sort of row of these seeds along the back, and then the Gypsophilia is also 60 centimeters. So I might try and maybe just interdisperse some seeds with the cornflower, and then the carnations are the smallest ones. So I'll try and put them along the front there. And then pretty much that will be this area done. I'll have to come out later, I think this afternoon, and just maybe give it a good water in. We'll see. I'll see how I go. So the back row is done. I've also sort of sprinkled the Gypsophilia in here. So the Gypsophilia is surface, so it must need the light to germinate. And then I just wanted to show you basically all that's happening is I'm just doing a little like trench like this, sprinkling the seeds in and then just sort of covering them over. Super simple. But this first row here, I'm going to put the carnations in the first row because I only get about 45 centimeters. So that way I should be able to access them for cutting. So that is cut flower seedlings and seeds all in. So we'll basically just see how that goes over the next couple of weeks, see if we can get some sprouts coming, and just kind of keeping a good eye on it. But yes, after the pumpkin fiasco, everything is looking a little bit bare in the orchard. I mean, the climbing roses are still doing well. One definitely more than the other. But yeah, man, that pumpkin did a number on the orchard. All right, the other thing that I want to do, I picked up the vegetables earlier when we were at the garden centre. So let's go pop up and let's get them all in. I'm so excited though, just very quickly. It looks like I'm getting more flowers on the... Can you see like the little tiny buds on the blueberries here? Can you sort of see the little bud there? So I wonder if I'm gonna get blueberries again. It appears to just be on the Sunshine Blue, which is the first one there. The back one there is the Biloxi. But yeah, very interesting. Oh, I'd be very happy with that. And so these were the little vegetables that I picked up. I bought another strawberry, I've got spring onions, and I've got leeks. So I'm maybe just going to grab all bits and bobs that I need, and then let's get these ones into the kitchen garden bed. Alright, little strawberry in, one down. So leeks and spring onions to go. I basically just doing what I showed you last week in terms of squeezing the bottom of the little pot, digging my little hole, popping it in, and there you go, it's put to bed. So spring onions are in, as are the additional leeks. Well, it is a couple of hours later. Everything has had a good drink of water, and I thought I would just show you the orchard from this angle. I think sometimes it's a little bit easier to see. So this here was the cut flower garden. You can see the little pink flower there. That's all been watered in. The berries are over this area here on that back wall. All the fruit trees. And these are new little ones here just to fill in that gap. We've got that gorgeous autumn sun at the moment. It's nice and soft and it's at that angle, but goodness, it makes shadows like you would not believe. So I thought I'd just very quickly wander around with you now so that you could see in better light. I think we're going to tackle these tomorrow. I'd really like to get them in and situated. Gosh, these are looking lovely. The impatiens, the pink and white. All of the hydrangeas in this bed are also doing so well. I'm so happy. Hopefully, very soon, a couple of new little plants here. Very soon we will have big, beautiful hydrangea blooms. So this here is a trailblazer hydrangea. Oh, and I'll be able to cut them and bring them inside. And so, kitchen garden beds, as I showed you earlier. I've got some additional spring onions. My little baby garlic, one of the other garlics that we propagated together last week's video, or I can't remember now. A few videos ago, potentially. It has now got a good root system, so I think one of them is ready to come out, and the other one is still just a little bit behind the first one. So the beans, they're already growing. I'm so excited. I've never grown beans like this before, like climbing beans. I've always grown French beans and that. Leeks are all in. Standard spinach and rosemary, and nothing sort of new in this bed today, but it is looking really nice. Tomatoes are looking good, and let me tell you, it is fresh. Oh, you cannot imagine how happy that makes me. That we have the cooler weather. Even the wind is cold. I feel like I need to put socks on my feet. It's that cold. But yeah, everything's looking really lovely out here. Look at these. Look at that beautiful. I love that. When just something just pops up. Oh, and the roses down here. Let me take you down. Look at them all. They are going strong. I know I showed you last week, but they are just looking sensational. Even these little ones have all got little, you can See like the little bud there, and look at all of these new buds. It's covered in new buds. And then these are the ground cover roses. Sunset multicolored roses. Anywho, I just wanted to quickly come out and give you a little look when the light was a little bit better and you weren't getting all the shadows and that. But as a bit of a treat to, it's one of those situations, isn't it? Any excuse. But as a bit of a treat to welcome the new cozy season ahead, I'm going to get some takeout for dinner. I'm so excited. So I'll get some takeout, I'm going to come home, I'm going to get cozied up, all rugged up, possibly put the little sort of electric fireplace on and just watch a movie. I think there's like almost like a Hallmarky kind of autumn movie, I'm pretty sure, that's just come onto one of the streaming services. So I might just cozy up under the blankets and watch that, which should be really, really lovely. Anywho, I'm going to head inside. I probably have my shower first, and then we'll go down and get some takeout for dinner. Man. Well, good morning. It has been a delightful start to the day. Weather got down to 9 last night, so first night of single digits. It was super cozy. I had the best night. But today, as I mentioned yesterday, I want to get those pineapples in, but I also wanted to get in one of our garlics. So this one here is, can you see all the roots there? So I think that one's ready to go in. But this one, I mean, we planted these up together and it's just, oh, if I can get it. You can just see there, it's got a few, but it was a little bit behind the other ones. So I'm not sure why that is. But I want to get this one into the kitchen garden beds today, along with getting all of the pineapples planted up. So let's head outside and do that. Just cleared the entry to the beehive. Can you see them all? Understandably, they're very protective of their entryway, and so any kind of changes like that, the hive really sort of reacts. They will obviously just settle straight back down, but we just had a plant that was blocking their entryway, and I try and keep that as clear as possible so that they've got easy sort of access to and from. You can see all the activity there. These are Australian native bees, so they're stingless bees. and it's an adopted hive. I have spoken to you about this beehive many times, but it's an adoptive hive that I've had for quite the number of years, and it just kind of chills in the garden, and the bees propagate all the flowers and fruit trees. A lady beetle just landed on me. Aww. I'm taking that as a good sign. So this here is the other garlic that we planted up, and so I'm going to plant the new one probably just sort of fairly close by and have it in this little cluster here, just so they're all together. All I'm basically going to be doing is, that is the garlic there, obviously roots will go down into the soil and this bit here will face up, and then eventually we'll get a little sprout like this one here. You definitely want to plant your bulb all the way underground. You don't want any of the bulb above the soil level. Whole thing needs to be covered. So just so you can see, that is it there. And then I'm just going to cover it over completely. You don't want to obviously bury it super deep, but you don't want any of it being exposed. So that's it. We'll just have to keep making sure we keep the water up to this area, but there's an irrigation point, as you can see right there. And then once the other one is ready to go, I'll probably plant it just a little bit back from there. And the three of them, a little kind of garlic. It's the first time I've ever tried to grow garlic from a clove. So we'll see. I'll be very curious to see how it all kind of works and whether I get a good substantial size clove. I did a bit of research online, and so obviously we want it to get like a little top on it like this one, and then they'll sort of get quite tall. And it said once the bottom leaves start to die off, that's when you know it's ready to harvest. So I'm excited for that and to sort of see what the end results are going to be. Alright, next thing to tackle is going to be the pineapples. So we've got 5 little pineapple tops in here, and they're going to go up sort of near the beehive where we just were, up that walkway there. I can't remember if I showed you in this video or if it was last week's video, but I'll take you over there now and I'll show you roughly where I'm thinking. Pineapples take almost 2 to 3 years before they produce like a pineapple, so they need to be somewhere out of the way, but also it gets full sun. Then I'm not going to forget about them because I definitely want to keep the fertilizing and the water up, but they're going to need a bit of space and time. So I think I've got the spot. And so just very quickly to show you, if you have been subscribed for a little while, you'll remember I started a pineapple top, like planted up a pineapple top, gosh, I can't even remember, sometime last year, and then propagated it and then put it out here. This is it here. So I just wanted to show you that so you kind of get an idea of the size of it. So it started exactly like the others, just a top of a pineapple that I cut off. And I think this one here we started in soil. So I actually planted it up in soil and then transferred it out. Whereas those 5 that I just showed you, I sort of started them, I had the pineapple top and I popped them in water and let the root system develop from water. So kind of 2 different methods, but hopefully I'll get good results with both. All right, so I've got Mum. She is helping to dig all the holes and stuff here so that I can film and kind of show you the process as well. So as I said, we're just up here near the water feature. That's the beehive, and we're up this walkway. I was just saying to Mum, I reckon we'll get probably 2 in here, so that they've got that space to kind of grow, and we're just sort of trying to think of, we've got 5 to plant up, so that's 2. I'm thinking maybe of doing the other ones maybe on this side in here somewhere. I'm not sure. We'll have a little bit of a think. The ginger and turmeric pots are almost ready. You can see all of this is starting to die off now. So we have the first little pineapple going in. And it's basically the normal process, digging a hole, we're just popping it in, and then we're putting fresh soil just around it to kind of bed it down a little bit. Trying to make sure that we don't get any sort of air pockets or anything around the root system. So that is one in. So just trying to find homes for the rest of the pineapples, and I'm thinking, so I'm just down in the orchard area, I'm thinking this gap here, because it gets a fair amount of sun and it's a good sort of sized gap, won't be in the way of anything, it can sort of just stay there for the next 2 to 3 years and be fine. So I think maybe the other ones, so one of the pineapples is just back there. I wonder if we maybe put 2 sort of in here. I can keep an eye on them there as well. And that might be the 5 of them. So that is 2 in. I am slightly concerned with how close we've got them together, but I'm hopeful that they'll just work around each other a little bit in terms of like the leaf, like when the leaves sort of grow out. I think they're going to be much, much happier up here than what they were in that pot. And then just behind the leeks here, the kitchen garden, we've got a little tiny pineapple in there. So hopefully it's happy. There is actually an irrigation point sort of just here behind the salvia, and the other one seems to be doing okay. So we've got that one there, and then down into the orchard we've got, if I turn the right way, one little fella in here. Now the last one we didn't end up planting out, so it's this one here, because look at how tiny he is. He's so small. And I just worry that it might get lost a little bit in the garden beds at this stage. So I think I'm just going to keep it in this pot for maybe, I don't know, until it gets a bit bigger, a bit more robust, and then I feel like it might make it in the gardening beds. Mission accomplished today. There's just a bit of other sort of pottering around bits and pieces, weeding, cutting things back, as there always is. But I think I might leave you here. Gosh, they're so pretty. Thank you, as always, for joining me. I hope you enjoyed spending yesterday and today with me. It's been productive, nice and slow and calm, but productive, and the weather has just been perfection. So I hope you have an incredible rest of your week, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.